Forum theatre is a very interesting form. It's a very contested form. People still argue about it, which I love. Long may the argument continue.
Welcome to the International Centre for Settlement of Investment Disputes.
My own theatre teacher was a very famous Brazilian director called Augusto Boal,
who really invented what's called the theatre of the oppressed, which was a way of engaging audiences to become actors in their own lives.
But not just using theatre to tell people about problems or illustrate a lecture about how things should be.
These are provocations to encourage reactions from the audiences.
And in the UN's view...
If it's legal, we will do it. If it's not, then we won't. Simple.
We ask people, what would you do if this was your situation?
So it's a way of rehearsing the future.
You are just a woman. You must leave these things to the men. Sign the form. They must collect the rainwater as it falls from the sky, not you.
Playwriting is just setting a context for the actors to really interpret it.
They're back, are they?
Well, maybe. He's British, but he works for BEW India.
BEW India!
The key moment in terms of forum and the audience is finding that thing of, here's the moment of oppression where the audience will go in and try and fix it.
He says he's never beheld such beauty as yours and wishes to write down his thoughts.
Oh, he's a very strange person. I mean, I never met anyone like him in my entire life.
Will you tell her to stop talking and open her mouth wide? I can't measure it while she's talking.
That is one of the images that really gets people. When he's got a tape measure, it's right in front of her face. It's the most demeaning thing you can do to another human being, the actual human relationship side of it. No matter what his job is and his position in life, it's just the actual treatment of another human being in that way really gets people riled.
And in terms of the text, it leads up to that moment where she's deceived and signs it. You need a moment where there's an obvious injustice, obvious oppression, and it can open out to the audience to fix.
I'm sure they'll keep the well open for you to grow your crops and drink while they fix it.
They will?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm sure. Look, I'll ask him. She wants to know if England is a nice place.
Yes, lovely, yes. Tell her it's heaven on earth compared to here. Just...
You see?
Yeah.
He agrees. Now sign the form.
Normally, you direct a play, you know that that's going to be it. As a director, you're responsible for the feel, the look, the sound, the whole audience experience, okay? And it goes before an audience. Bob's your uncle, there's the piece of theatre. But with these forum events, you're only preparing for half the evening when you're directing.
We show them the scene.
If you don't sign this form, they'll say you're a thief for stealing the water and come back with the police.
And then when it's forumed, the audience can shout stop, and they can come in whenever they
Hold
want.
your hands and shout, stop! Stop!
It's challenging for us as actors because we never know when it's going to happen.
There's a strong element of improvisation which I really enjoy. At the same time, I get extremely scared.
So there's that other side as well as just the performance. There's that interactive bit.
So we're going to start from here. If you see something going wrong, you immediately hold up your hand, but you have to have a suggestion.
My role as facilitator of these events, or actually what Boal would call them, the difficultator, the joker. So the joker is there to really ask the questions.
What we can change, how we might intervene. And we're going to try out the suggestions, all right? So, away we take it.
We are trained to think of ourselves as consumers of theatre, and it's up to us to pick up the tools of participation.
You can either get up and walk away, or you can go into the suitcase and get the gun and shoot them both.
Okay. I'm afraid she doesn't know that there's a gun in the suitcase.
Okay, You feel frustrated by the story you've just seen? You want to change that woman's position? Come, don't just tell me, show me.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Do you speak English? Yeah. Will you tell her to sign the consent form?
What's he saying?
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen!
You have to think on your feet, you have to be prepared. Either carry out what they've asked you to do or respond to another character who's behaving differently because of what they've asked them to do. So that's the interesting thing about it, you know, you can never rest on your laurels, really.
Hot seating is when you are sat as the character and questions are fired at you randomly.
Obviously, it's very much the audience grilling these characters and finding out why they do things, you know, and taking out their frustrations, their questions.
In character, you respond to the question as true as possible.
BEW, how does it support it in practice? Does it give money to the organizations? How does it work?
Our interest, as I said earlier, is about British businesses booming. We really need to work on this, on international businesses.
It's a challenge, isn't it, to how do you justify being the bad guy or what may be seen as the bad guy?
Of course, it's great to be compassionate. You know, 42 million people is a lot of people. That's how many people we're going to be supplying with fresh drinking water.
To start with, I was quite nervous because I was a bit worried about what the audience would ask me. Would they be so political and were they lawyers in the audience?
Why does the UK not take the same line as the UN about actions abroad as business? Do you think we're above the UN when it comes to human
I don't
rights?
think that we think that we're above the UN, but I mean, to be honest with you, this policy is something that this government does need to have a look at.
It's just nice to be, you know, direct contact, often in direct conflict with people, but it's an interesting sort of intellectual joust, I suppose.
I'm much more comfortable with her now. I quite enjoy hot seating, Becky. I always enjoy hot seating anyway. It's a time for an actor to play and really listen and interact with the audience member.
And obviously in the sort of forum sense, you want to kind of give it back to them and say, well, what would you do?
Spectators will only respond to something which has an element of artistry about it. Make sure it's good theatre.
You just want to catch the essence of it. So, you know, what's the oppression? What's the tension in this? And just keep it short.
The arts world at the moment is full of people who would love to tell you, here's the impact, here's the audience that we met, here's the evaluation document that we filled in for the Arts Council. Those things make us feel good, but they're not the truth about impact or legacy. This piece has to be strong on its own terms.
You also need to be sure that it's something you are passionate about. Do it truthfully, do it honestly, do it the way that you think it should be done as well. You know, and do it with guts.
Legal document! That is
That's it, you! Get off him or I will shoot!